We are in the second part of today's retreat. After the morning group meditation and yoga class, now we are fresh and alert. Let us feel our heart while we are feeling our heart. Can we open our mind? Can we open our mind for any memory, any past incident, or anyone? Let us stay with the heart and open the mind. Do we feel any heaviness with the hearts? Heavy feeling like a stone, hardness, like an ice cube, coldness. Are we using our heart as a storeroom to store whatever we replaced and suppressed, whatever emotions our past experiences produced, especially what we do not like, so-called negative. Do we use our own heart as a storeroom, as a secret safe to hide all those suppressed and repressed emotions? Are we using our own heart as a prison, as a jail, to imprison repressed emotions? Because of that, our past emotions became prisoners in our own heart, and the heart became the prison, the jail. By making our own heart as a prison, and by imprisoning our own emotions, what happens to us? We lose our freedom, lightness, warmness, liveliness, simple happiness. In short form, we lose our heart, gentle heart, for our own freedom, for our own joy, for our own lightness. Can we open the gate of prison, gate of the heart? Can we pass this message to all the innocent listeners? Dear friends, I am sorry. I am sorry. Now the gate is open and you are free to can we say this to each memory and to each emotion which will suffering inside of our heart since the beginning. You are no longer prisoners. And my heart is not a prison. With this meditation, we can transform our heart into a garden, open air garden. The prison transforms into a garden. Many different flowers, herbs, how many different qualities are there? No prisoners, no prison, a garden, beautiful garden, and all the plants and flowers are growing freely. with this beautiful feeling and experience, please open your eyes now. Dear friends, today we are meditating on our hearts, and the theme is on heart, on heaven. Heaven, it's it's a religious concept. Heaven, we think it's normal word, ordinary word, but this word came from religions. Not only one religion, from many religions, not from the science, not from any other subjects, only from religions. And if heaven is in somewhere, then of course hell must be in somewhere opposite to the heaven. So hell and heaven both are coming from religions, from our belief. It's a belief. And we think heaven is somewhere in the sky above us, and hell is somewhere below us, the inside of the earth. And when we do events, public events, and sometimes we start public events with religion remembrance. Someone asks us to remember our religion. And what we can notice is mostly when we remember our religion remembrance event, we look up. We look up. You may also notice this. We look up. And maybe we keep our hands like this and look up. So, how this happens? Why we are not looking at somewhere else, left or right? Why only we look at up above us? This is the feeling and attitude what we have about our religions, whatever religion. It's somewhere in the sky above us. We are down. And all the religious achievements are also there above us. We are down. We are here, zero. And all the religious achievements, religion and religious achievements, heaven, paradise, whatever, they are there. And so that's why when we do this religion remembrance, we look at up. But do you ever notice how Buddhists do this? Usually, Buddhists don't look at up. They look down. Whenever we have to remember our religion, either we close our eyes or we just look down. This is something interesting. But there are many interesting things around this behavior. One very significant difference is the Buddha brings the religion to the earth. To here, it was there before the Buddha's time. All those achievements and religions are above us, 1,000 kilometers away from us. What the Buddha did is he brought the concept of religion or all the achievements down to the earth. So that's why we do not look at up. We only either close eyes or look down. Even heaven is here, not there, here. And in our ordinary vocabulary or in our ordinary communication, we do not use heaven or paradise often. Instead of that, we use hell. How many times we use this word, hell? It doesn't matter we believe any religion or not, no matter. But every single day we use this word, hell. What a hell. Why we are using this word? For what? We are using this word when we experience something horrible, something terrible, something painful, something unpleasant. Then we say, oh, it's a hell. The job is a hell. Or the family life. Or the society. Or the world. whatever, the sickness, whatever, it's a hell. When it is painful, when it is problematic. And we also use this word when we lose things, when we lose our job, when we lose our money, financial status, when we lose our comfort, healthiness, we say, oh, it's a hell. That means we are being lost. We lost. And I met many people who are in this mentality. They think they are in the hell. Why? Because they lost. They lose something, maybe job, maybe healthiness, physical healthiness, maybe a friend, maybe a partner, maybe reputation, whatever. And then they think they are in the hell. And my dear friends, of course, we may lose something, but not everything. Not everything. It's not a hell. Lose something doesn't bring us to any hell. It can't. We only lose one thing, whatever one or two. But our life is here. Life is here. Life is something divine. But why we can't feel this? This life is so divine. Not the job, not the partner, not the money, not the house. Of course, to live, we need money, we need society, we need the shelter, food, of course. But the life is more important than all those things. The life itself is divine. But unfortunately, we think life becomes divine because of money, because of something, because of relationships, because of luxuries. And if we do not have what we want, or if we are losing something what we had, then it's a hell. What a narrow view, concept. Once a boy came here to Nilambe, he's a French boy, and he didn't bring any baggage, even hand baggage, no. And he said he lost it, everything. In the train, on the way from Colombo to Kandy, somebody took and jumped from the train. So nothing. He said nothing. But to surprise, it's a surprise for me that he was not depressed or disappointed. So relaxed. And I asked, how possible to be relaxed like this? You have lost everything. Now even you don't have your passport. No traveler's checks. Those days we travel with traveler's checks. And no traveler's checks. And no money. But you are still very relaxed and you explain how it happens like a story, like it happens to someone else, not to you. And he smiled and tell me this, yes, yeah, someone stolen all those things, but not my life, not my life. Because of my life, I have earned them. Money, traveler's checks, clothes, whatever, all those things, camera. He said he earned them because of his life. They are secondary things. So if I want, I can again earn them. He said, if I want a camera, I can again work and buy a camera. Because no one stolen my life. Therefore, he said, he's not depressed. He's a young boy. So what a wisdom. What a wisdom. So what I want to tell you is, hell is something we create. We create. It is depending on the point of our view. Our point of view, not what happened or not what happens. How we look at things, how we see things, depending on that. Even the death, the last thing is death. We think we have to lose everything at the moment of dying. Well, it depends. Of course, we cannot bring our car or house or any property or iPhone. That's true. The death is not accepting all those things. But the death cannot kill our qualities. The death cannot kill our qualities. Death can kill our body. That's true. That's why it's called death. It is killing our body, only our body, not us, not our beautiful qualities. So even that, the death cannot create hell. If someone can understand this phenomena, there is a beautiful Indian story. There is a temple and a priest is there. Priest. He is purely devoted person from his childhood time. He didn't do any sin, any bad thing. Always he recites the name of God. And he does everything to dedicate to the God from morning to the evening. And everybody knows he's so pure person, so pure one. And there is a house opposite to his temple, just opposite to his temple. And a female dancer was there, female dancer. And what she does is dancing, singing, dancing, and playing musical instruments. And many people come there. Also, many come to the temple as well for different reasons. And whenever this temple ritual starts, when the priest starts to recite mantra and stotra verses, that dancer starts to singing. She's singing and dancing, and people are also making noises. So this happens every day. And priest complains to the police, to the authorities. And priest wants to ban this home and stop all the activities because it is disturbing to the temple, to people who come to temple for prayers. But as you and as we know, people who are going to nightclubs are more powerful than people who are coming to temples. So they have political power. Therefore, the priest cannot success in this case. Anyhow, after a long time, one day this girl passed away, died. And then it's a surprise to the priest. According to the story, she went to the heaven. She went to the paradise. And the priest cannot understand this logic. So priest asked from the God, what the hell you are doing? She was a sin. She did everything what you ask us to not to do. And she was disturbing to my temple, to people who come here to pray for you. But after her death, you took her to the heaven. I cannot understand you. Then the God says, well, I can understand you. I know you are a very honest priest. And you are so devoted to me. That's true. Because of you, many people became pure. That's also true. You have done marvelous service, religious service. But there is something you didn't see. Of course, that girl was a dancer, singer at the nightclub. That's true. But and she made all the musics and songs and dance at the exact time when you start your rituals, your chanting. That's true. But while she was singing, she was paying her attention on your mantras. She was doing her job. It was her job. But while she was doing her job, she was singing and dancing and playing instruments, musical instruments. She paid her attention on you, on your divine stotra verses. And she feels so blessed, so divine. And every day when she sees you, she wants to bow down. She wants to apologize. And she wants to say, I'm sorry, I respect you. I respect you. And also she has a wish. One day, I also want to follow you. I also want to be a follower of you. You didn't know all those things, dear priest. But how about you? Whenever you heard her music, what happened to you? And whenever you see her, did you feel any holy feeling? You are angry. You are angry. You hate her, but she respects you. Everybody can see your temple because it is made by bricks. It's a building. But no one can see the temple. Only I can see. The God said, I can see because it is in my heart. And my dear priest, for me, external temples are not so important. What we are externally doing is not important. The most important thing are internal activities. She was with me. Even though she was singing and dancing and playing music. And whenever she saw you, she had divine feeling, faith, respect. But you are opposite. You hate her. You discriminate her. So outer your temple is beautiful, but your inner temple is not beautiful. Her nightclub is ugly, but the inner temple is beautiful. So it's a story, but this story gives us a very critical and radical teaching. It's a critical teaching as well as radical teaching, but that's the truth. That is the pure truth. My dear friends, most of you were here in Nilambe, and you know how Nilambe is. Can you remember the very first day of your experience with Nilambe? The very first day, maybe it's rainy, you climb up with hundreds of creatures and no electricity, no dinner, and small shell to sleep, very little food, maybe same food every day, and not allowed to talk, not allowed to sing, not allowed to dance, not allowed to drink or smoke, not allowed to use mobiles. So what was your feeling about Nilambe in the very first day with all those limitations and restrictions? Once I heard two meditators, or not two, couple of meditators, very beginners, newly comers, they were talking. They were discussing, chatting, and said, "This is like a prison. Nilambe is like a prison. No freedom." And then another meditator said, "Even prison is better than Nilambe. Prison has freedom. We can talk in the prison. We can do sports. But in Nilambe, even worse than prison." And then the third one said, "Exactly, this is like a hell. Like a hell." And I think these thoughts are very normal, very ordinary. If you think that you didn't think in this way, that means something is wrong. These thoughts must come to our minds if our minds are normal. Yes, what they said is very true. Very cold, no heaters, no electricity, no dinner, and leeches, and very small shells, concrete, cement beds, and very tiny mattresses, simple food, no talks, not allowed to talk, communication. So that's true. But my question is, because of that, do we have to be in a prison or hell? Do we have to feel that we are in a prison because of that? Why you want to come back? Why many meditators who have visited Nilambe, why they want to return? I think no prisoner wants to return to prison. When the prisoner is released, they don't want to come back. But why we want to come back to Nilambe? With all those limitations, all those difficulties, because we know this, they are only physical difficulties, physical, but mentally, psychologically, spiritually, we are so comfortable. Many comforts are there. And we are free. We had to understand this simple truth, my dear friends. I have read these two incidents. One about President Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela, the first black Negro president in South Africa. He was in a prison for more than 20 years because he did the innocent revolution, innocent, non-violence revolution. Anyhow, it doesn't matter, it is non-violence or violence. He was in a prison. And after that, after more than 20 years, he come back to the civil society, and then the election, he became the first black president. And anyhow, he wrote a book about his journey. It's a long journey to freedom. That is the title. A long journey to freedom, for freedom, long journey. And in one of the interviews, a journalist asked this question: how was your time in prison? Because it wasn't comfortable, no comforts at all, and a lot of punishments, even physical punishments, inhuman punishments. President Nelson Mandela replied, yeah, that's true, but I understood this. If I do not let go of my anger and desire to revenge, punish to people who punished him, if I do not let go of them, then I'll be a prisoner, even though I am not in the prison. I think the message is very clear, very clear. He said, if he will not let go, if he is not capable to let go of his hatred and anger, then he will be continuing as a prisoner inside of his own hatred and anger. So hatred and anger makes the hell. They make the hell. It doesn't matter where we are. And the second story is about the Dalai Lama, and interview with the Dalai Lama, in between Dalai Lama and another Lama. This another Lama was in a prison for a long time. And after that, he came to India. And when Dalai Lama met him, and Dalai Lama asked, how was your life in the prison? Any fear? Yes, a lot of fear. I was so afraid. About what? About what? I was so afraid, not about what the jailers or other authorities can do to me, to my body. I was so afraid that if any moment, if I get angry towards them, so that is my fear. That is the fear. I was so afraid of that. I was so alert about that. Not what they are doing. Whatever they do, I should not be angry. If I be angry, then that is the most hell. And Dalai Lama asked how it happens. He said, no, I didn't get angry at all. Therefore, physically he was in a prison, but psychologically, no. His mind is not a prisoner of his own anger or hatred. And in the first story that President Mandela said further, before I leave the prison, I wanted to forgive everybody. I wanted to forgive everybody. If I do not able to forgive them, then I'll be still in the prison. Prison of my own court, judgments, and jails. So, my dear friends, this is the meditation. If we use our heart as a judge, court, and prison, and then what happens to us? We create our own hell. And if we are suppressing our emotions, because of our judgments, and use our heart as a storeroom to hide them, then of course our heart becomes hell. Cold hell. You know this. The natural state of heart is warmness and gentleness. But because of these emotions, because of generating emotions, especially like hatred and anger, fear, and also feeding to them and suppressing them. When we suppress them, then of course they are not in the surface of the mind. But that doesn't mean that they disappear. No, they are living inside of the mind. That means in the heart. So heart becomes a prisoner. And many prisoners, thousands of prisoners, are fighting with each other. And what we do is we still repress, and we don't like to look at them. We don't like to remember those incidents. We close all the doors, gates, and locked. My dear friends, it is easier to lock the heart. It is very easier to lock the heart. We don't, you know this. To lock the padlock, we don't need to know about the password. Do we need a password to lock something? No. We don't need a password for locking. It is something very simple. But to open, the procedure of opening is not simple as locking up. Not easy, not simple. We need the password, we need the key, exact password, and we have to enter the password correctly. Otherwise, it remains as a locked room. My dear friends, this is the way how we create our own cold hell. No warmness, no feelings, only rough emotions, no feelings. and even we cannot control them. You know, it is very difficult to control prisoners. Therefore, better to lock them instead of controlling. And we need guards, security guards, like in the hell. No guards, security guards in the heaven, according to any story, no guards, no securities, no need. But for the hell, yes. With meditation, my dear friends, with meditation, we have to open our hearts. We have to open our hearts. Somehow we are afraid of opening our hearts because we think then it becomes out of control. We cannot control. It's okay. It's okay. We have this issue whenever we try to control, whenever we try to suppress them, whenever we try to deny them. But whenever we make friends with them, then this idea disappears. No need to control, no control. If no prisoners, then no need to be a jailer, guard, supervisor, superintendent, no need. My dear friends, we can experience this in our everyday life. In our everyday life, it is okay to have emotions. Have emotions is one thing. Making a hell out of emotions is another thing. Facing to unpleasant incidents is one thing. We cannot avoid in our life facing to unpleasant incidents. It happens to all of us. But creating our own hell because of unpleasant incidents is another thing. It is an unskillful action. The last thing, as I said, that most religions speak about hell and heaven. Hell and heaven. Heaven is somewhere above us and hell is somewhere down to us. And somebody created those physical heaven and hell. Somebody, maybe the creator, the great creator, created physical heaven and physical hell. So that can happen, of course, that can happen. If physical hell and heaven are there, of course, then some reason behind it. But the Buddhism does not interest in these ideas. The Buddhism never says there is no heaven or no hell or no creator. The Buddhism never says these things because it is not interested in that. But what the Buddhism says is, when we suffer, it's our own creation. We are the creators of our own suffering. We. Not anyone else, not somebody who is living in the sky, above the sky. No, I make my suffering, I make my anger, I make my fear, I, myself. So I am the creator of my own health. Therefore, I can be a creator of my own heaven. Because this psychological, emotional, and spiritual hell and heaven are inside of us. Of course, physical hell and physical heaven, those worlds can be existing in somewhere in the universe. No argument about that, against that idea. Somewhere many worlds can be existing in the universe. But our own hell, our own psychological, emotional, and spiritual hell are inside of us. We create them. We create them from moment to moment. This is the other interesting thing. For this experience, we may create a hell. For the next experience, we may create a heaven. So therefore, Buddhism says there is no any eternal hell or eternal heaven. Only for this moment, we can speak only about this moment, what we create, where we are, and who we are. These are the only three things what we have to be concerned. What we are doing, where we are, and who we are. Who we are. Who we are means, this is not a philosophical question in relation to meditation. Of course, this is a very philosophical question for philosophy, but for meditation, very practical question. To answer to that philosophical question, we have to be a philosopher. Normal people cannot answer. But for this practical question, everybody can answer and everybody should answer too. Who are you? It means, are you the creator of your own hell, or are you a creator of your own heaven? Very simple question and very powerful question as well. Who am I? Am I a creator of my own heaven or creator of my own hell? What we are doing? Are we creating my own hell or my own heaven? Where we are? Are we in my own hell or my own heaven? So questions are something very simple but very challengeable questions. But everybody can answer. Everybody should answer, especially as meditators. In our meditation, we are constantly observing these three things. What we are doing, who we are, and where we are. These three things are interconnected. If we become a creator of hell, of course, we are creating hell and we are living in the hell. These things are happening so quick. And if we are creator of our own heaven, then we are creating our heaven and we are living in the heaven. And We can create our own hell in any moment, with whatsoever, with all the beautiful things, we can suffer. You know this. I know this. A lot of rich people, they are suffering. A lot of healthy people, they are suffering. A lot of beautiful and handsome people, they are suffering. So we don't need a real reason for suffering. We think we are suffering for reality, something real. We don't need a real reason for suffering. Even we can suffer in a dream. How many times we suffer in dreams? How many times we were in hell in dreams? By observing this, we can overcome these patterns. It's a pattern, my dear friends, it's a pattern. And it is happening habitually. Now, very difficult to come out from this pattern, very difficult. Because it's a long-term habit and long-term addiction to suffer with whatsoever, with most beautiful things, we suffer. This is really dangerous, Being addicted to suffering is more dangerous than being addicted to any drug. But with our practice, we can break this pattern. We can decondition this pattern by practicing. That is the hope. So we can go beyond our own hell. We can come out from our own hell if we are not the creator of our own hell. Who made this position? Who appointed us as our own creator of hell? Who appointed this? It's a self-appointment. It's a self-appointment. Why we? Why we make this appointment? We think this is the only way to live. Suffering, only way to live. Meditation shows us another way, another beautiful way. We think we have to be angry. If somebody hurts us, we have to be angry. That is one of the ways. And if we are angry, then again, our mind says you should not be angry. You should not be angry. Anger is bad, negative. You have to hide this anger. And then we start to repress the anger. First, mind says you have to be angry. And then mind says you should not be angry. Then what we can do? We have to hide it. This is the game. This is the real game, what we are in. And we didn't question when the first we heard that you had to be angry. We didn't ask this question, why I have to be angry? Why I have to be angry? We say yes, yes, because it says our own mind, not anyone else, not our father, not our mother, not the world, my own mind, our own mind. Then we condition ourselves to say yes to our own mind. Whatever mind says, We say, yes, I have to be angry. Because of that decision, my dear friends, we get angry. We get angry. Because of that decision, because of that intention, we make an intention before we angry. We say, okay, yes, you have to be angry. Yes. Whenever we press this okay button, after that, we become angry. We get angry. And then, after a couple of seconds, the mind says, you should not be angry. Others may judge you badly. You have to hide your anger now. So where we can hide our anger? Where? No banks are accepting our anger to deposit. There is no cupboard, no lockers. Of course, lockers and cupboards are there, but we cannot hide or deposit or store our anger in those cupboards. There is only one place, it's our own heart. Our own heart. And to our heart, the heart cannot say no. It is so innocent. Heart is so innocent. And we didn't ask this question, is it okay to hide this anger for a temporary period of time inside of you? We didn't ask. We just abuse our heart. So one after the other, hundreds of thousands of emotions we hide there. We cannot remember them. After that, we cannot remember them because we are unaware and we are busy. And we locked. We locked. Lock means we don't want to remember them. We don't want to again be angry because of that. So we locked. When we lock the heart, my dear friends, of course, we can lock the heart for negative emotions for short period of time, not forever, only for short period of time. But at the same time, we close our heart for most beautiful feelings. Most beautiful feelings. Now even they cannot come. No place for them. So this is the way how we create our own health. With all those luxuries, all those physical comforts, internally, no life. No life, no freedom, no beauty, no comfort. Like a robot, like a stone, not much difference. The main one difference is the stone is not suffering and we are suffering. No robot is suffering, we are suffering. We create our own suffering and we can overcome our own suffering. In any incident, in any event, in any happenings, with whatsoever, with whom, we have a choice. In front of everything, we have a choice to suffer or not to suffer, to make a hell or make a heaven. We have a choice. We have this choice only when we are aware. Only when the awareness is there. Otherwise, no choice. We are suffering. Sooner or later, we are suffering. But whenever we are aware, whenever we have awareness, then we know we have a choice. What we are going to create. If we want to create something, we can create a heaven. but it is not compulsory. We can simply be witness without creating anything. No heaven, no hell, no need to create anything. So we have a choice. That's why, my dear friends, this meditation is so important. It is not simply concentrating on one object. Please do not narrow down your practice into this small concept. It's a really important thing. Each moment we become a creator. Consciously or unconsciously, we become a creator and we are creating something. But unfortunately, for most of the times we create suffering. And then we justify it, we say life is suffering. No choice, life is suffering. Please do not justify your suffering. By justifying, you become an addiction. You become addicted to the suffering. Then very difficult, let go. Don't become addicted to the hell. Don't think it's your part of life. Hell is part of your life. Whenever you think hell is part of your life, then your life becomes part of the hell. You are so divine. We all are having divine qualities. We all are having divine qualities. Associate them. Look at them. Feed to them. Help them to grow up. Only then we can realize our heart is like a garden, beautiful garden, outdoor garden. No prisoners, no flower is a prisoner of any garden. It's free. That's why it can flowering. Be a gardener, inner gardener, and look at your heart as a garden and plant divine seeds and help them to grow up. And witness to most beautiful divine flowers in your own heart. Thank you very much, dear friends. Dear friends, now time for self-practice. So please use these hints to guide yourself for individual practice. And we will meet again for the chanting, meditation and discussion. With this intention, have a beautiful self-practice. Thanks.